Hi, Chef Sean Knight from the Beast Show in Valdosta, Georgia. And today is Thursday, it's prep day. So you got a few minutes to spend. I'm just going to be making up some soups and some sauces, getting the kitchen prepared for the upcoming weekend. We have a few parties on the book, and we're always hoping we have more business than that. So if you give me a second, I'm going to go ahead and get everything together. And we're going to start off by making a marinara sauce first. I don't have a cameraman, so I will be trying to cook and do all the camera shots myself. So far, we have our tomatoes. They're already peeled and in water. We have garlic. We have onions. We're going to get a pot. We're going to get that pot hot, add some oil to it. We're going to start making a red sauce. Once we get our red sauce going, we're going to go ahead and go on. I got to do a cream sauce for our cream spinach dip. Then I'm going to go into a soup. I think the soup that we're going to run this weekend, I want to do a spicy lamb stew. So we're going to do 3 recipes, hopefully get them all going within the next half hour. Get your pens together, get your paper ready, get ready to take some notes. Just like to say, I don't use a lot of measurements when I do my recipes. For me, cooking is more of an art than a science. I think you should experiment with your own measurements yourself, come up with the taste, the flavor that you like yourself. You know, again, it's more of an art than a science. I think for this part, we can bring the camera with us. Okay, again, there's our tomatoes. Here's our garlic. Here's our onions. And we're going to need some crushed red peppers. Now, we just already added the oil to our pan. Swish it around a little bit. Okay, and then we're going to add our garlic. Lots of garlic. We like garlic. A little crushed red pepper. Not too crazy. We're not making a hot sauce. Our onions. And we're going to go ahead and sweat those off. We're going to cook it to the onions get nice and glossy. Ooh, you can smell it already. It's smelling good. Let's see here. I'm not sure how good of a view you guys can get on that, but you can see those onions are starting to get glossy. They're just about where we want them. Not quite there yet. I'm gonna go ahead and come out to our garden we got out back here. And grab some fresh basil. We use fresh basil in our spices, our soups, our sauces. You see we got a nice little garden, some basil here. There's a little bit over here, some rosemary. Unfortunately, our thyme is not doing so good right now. With our fresh mint, it's looking real good. And I think that's a pretty good amount for our sauce there. Let's get this inside, wash it off and chop it up. Add it to our mix. Okay. And I'm gonna try to do a one-handed chop here. I don't know how it's gonna go. Okay, a little better than I thought. I'm gonna add that in. Give it a good stir around. Now we're gonna deglaze our pan. Nice red wine. You deglaze the pan. All the sugar from the garlic and the onions and the pepper that cooked out got stuck to the bottom of the pan. You're bringing that back up and incorporating all that flavor back into your sauce. You're not losing the flavor. You're building to that flavor, adding to it. It gives you a really, really good sauce. Okay. Now I'm gonna set the camera down here. I have to add my tomatoes. Once I add my tomatoes, I'm gonna bring it to a boil. I'm gonna add some sugar, and I'm gonna add a carrot. The thing about the carrot is a lot of people don't know when you make a tomato-based sauce, you add the carrot into it, it helps absorb some of the acidity away from the tomatoes. You don't get a really, really tart, tangy sauce. You get a nice flavor. So I'll be right back. Watch my pot for me. My masher and start smashing up some tomatoes. I'm trying not to mess up my chef coat in the process. I'm going to add some salt and pepper to our sauce. A little bit of dry basil to complement the fresh basil that we already have in there. Then we're going to let that come to a boil. While we're letting that do its thing, we're going to go ahead and start on the cream sauce for our spinach dip. Start with a little bit of oil in the pan, some fresh garlic. This sauce comes together really, really fast. It's not going to take long for that at all. Wash my hands. I always try to keep some clean soapy water close by. Usually don't show it on camera, but since I have no cameraman today, you have to see it. quart of cream to my garlic I got sauteed for my sauce. And we're gonna let that come to a boil. As you can see, the red sauce is starting to simmer around the edges. We'll go ahead and mix it up a little bit. Man, I'm telling you what, it smells good already, and it still has a long way to go. It is, it's about 2:30 p.m. now. This should be ready about 6 o'clock this evening. And there's our garlic cream sauce right there. Starting to get little bitty bubbles around the edge. Now I'm gonna go ahead and set up here and start setting up for the lamb stew right here. I'm not sure how much you can see it, but it's my seasoning mix. What I have in there, it's a garam masala. I've got a little cayenne pepper, a little ground nutmeg, and some freshly shaved cinnamon that I'm putting in there. That's what I'm going to use to season the lamb meat with. All right, we're going to stew it off with some artichokes and some celery, some green beans. It's going to be a nice flavorful stew. It's going to have a little heat to it, which is good because it's autumn, and it just happens to be a little chilly outside here in South Georgia. So that's where we're going to go with that. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead. I got to get a slurry together for this, so I'm going to set the camera down. And my slurry is just a mixture of cornstarch and cold water, about equal amounts. And we use that to thicken up sauces, gravies, sometimes soups. Add some salt and pepper to my white sauce. Let that come to a boil. It's going to expand and come up to about the lid of the pan. That's when we'll know we're ready to add our slurry. Go ahead and drop this in my red sauce and start cutting my veggies for the stew. Carrot. Celery. Generally this part, the leafy part of the celery, people generally throw that away. When I'm making the soup, I like to put it in the soup. I think it adds a nice flavor to the soup. Nothing bad can come from it. Okay. See how my cream's starting to bubble up? I can go ahead and pull it off the heat and add a drop of slurry to it. And it'll help thicken that up. So here, sit right here for a moment. Just a little bit of slurry. That's all it takes, just a little bit. I don't know if you saw that. I hope you did. Now that it's thickening up, I'm adding some mozzarella cheese. Maybe a little more. And I'm gonna whisk it till the cows come home. Get all that cheese melted. Okay, so I've added the slurry to that, and I've added some cheese to it. It's thickening up nice. I'm gonna bring it back to a boil. Once we do that, we can go ahead and shut the heat off on that. That's gonna be ready to go. We're just gonna fold in some spinach. Probably about, roughly about 1.5 pounds of spinach. We're gonna fold into that. It's gonna be great. This is boiling good. All we need to do here is stir this up. And then we're going to go ahead and fold our sugar in. We're going to come back every so often and mash down these tomatoes a little bit. But for the most part, like I said, this is not going to be complete until about 6 o'clock p.m. So we put about 4 hours time into our red sauce. And there's a good shot of this thing thickening up. All right, that's done. Okay, back over here. I'm still preparing some items for my lamb stew. We'll go ahead and cut up and add an onion. Time to cut up that lamb. Here's our vegetable mix, our mirepoix, if you will, to start off our stew. We have the celery, plus the celery leaves. We have onion, we have carrots, and we have a pot of hot oil. They're about to make friends. Alright, we're going to add some freshly minced garlic to that. Oh yeah. Stir that up real good. Get our lamb meat in a nice bowl there. I'm going to drizzle one of the seasoning blend. Mix it up really, really good. And we're going to add that to our mirepoix we got cooking over here. Then we need to wash our hands. Okay, as promised, here's the sugar for our red sauce. Probably about a good 8 to 10 ounces. And we can just stir that up. We want to make sure nothing's sticking to the bottom. And then we're going to turn this down to a medium-low heat and let this baby coast for another 3 hours and 15 minutes or so. All right, that's good. Now, just want you to get a good look at my soup. how it's coming along here, my lamb stew. So yeah, it's looking good there. I don't know if you can really get a good peek at that, but basically all I have to do here is add my water to it. So add my water to that soup. We're going to season that off with just a little bit of beef bouillon, some salt and pepper, and then that's going to go for about a good hour and a half, hour 45 minutes before that's ready to go. We're going to season it with some salt and pepper. And that's a quick look at 30 minutes of what I do on Thursdays here at the Bistro in Valdosta, Georgia. I hope you guys got some good notes and learned some good recipes. I'm Chef Sean Knight, and thank you.